Good evening all and welcome to Dawlish Warren. Dawlish is a special place for me. Don't need much of an excuse to come down to Dawlish at any time. Love the place. Discovered 2 years ago that there is a nature reserve here at Dawlish Warren and it has orchids. Southern Marsh Orchid, nothing special, but it has orchids at one of my favourite places in the country, so that was the excuse I needed to come down here. So I'm going to go and explore Dawlish Warren Nature Reserve. Weather is actually surprisingly good. They said it was going to be ghastly rain, 90% rain all day long. We just get the odd shower, and they're big showers, so I've come equipped. Wellies, waterproof. If it rains we'll hide, but it's not going to stop me. Let's get on with it. Does anybody actually know where this nature reserve is? I'm told it's near the golf course, which is behind me. I see some purple, some colour no less. Hallelujah. Southern Marsh Orchids. First ones I've seen this season. I will be seeing many more, no doubt. But Dawlish Warren will be the first. Let's pop in this little whatever, because there's orchids in here. I wonder how pure these are going to be. If there's any common spotters here, whether you can have any hybrids. So far they're all very pure Southern Marsh Orchids. Slightly paler form than some of the others around here. Still all pure. It's quite interesting popping across here. A lot of these are going over. Whether that's the dry weather or an early season, we are on the south coast. That's a nice one. Best of the show so far. Some interesting markings on that one. Might make one a little bit suspicious, but there's absolutely nothing here apart from Southern Marsh Orchids so far. So if there were other orchid types here, I might start hinting at a couple of them, mixing it up here, but it's nice. Good numbers here. Lovely show on this spot. That's nice. Lovely bouquet. That's cute. Slightly pale form. Good markings on that one. I read somewhere that there was a really good patch of southern marsh opposite the visitors centre, which is where I'm passing now. And yeah, wow. Yeah, very, very good. Being a sad individual, I just counted 117 Southern Marsh Orchids in this little patch. Not just this little patch in front of us, but in the distance as well. That's a good effort. Pretty much all of them have gone over to some degree. Still good to see though. Just having a quick paddle in the sea, it's got to be done and all that. I just let me wander down this sort of spit of land as it heads out into the River Exe estuary. We've sort of left the orchids behind somewhat now, but I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to have a wander down and then sort of loop back and see if we find anything. Everything so far, pure Southern Marsh Orchid. I'm not used to that. Up in my neck of the woods, Southern Marsh Orchids don't grow on their own. You've always got some other dactylarizer messing around with them, so you get your hybrids and God knows what. I don't think I've seen, certainly not in the Peterborough area, I don't think I've ever seen a collection of Southern Marsh Orchids running into the hundreds, where every single one of them, certainly so far, has been pure, absolutely pure. So we'll keep looking, we'll head down and loop back, see if there's any more. A lovely setting. Just come inland, found what looks to be a very sort of classic orchid landscape. Perfect sort of ground and vegetation. I would have thought there'd be a lot of orchids here, but at the moment there isn't. Oh. Bit of purple at last. I know you've seen a lot of purple on this one already, but I've been walking for about 25 minutes and not seen any. Apologies for the wind, it's a bit gusty down here. Nice bit of intensity in that one. There's a couple of nice ones around here. I'll just move across to the right. That's nice. If you want to see a classic textbook Southern Marsh Orchid, then that is it. Markings are absolutely perfect. They are a little bit variable, but if you want to see a classic one, down the middle, straight on, no messing, that is it. Very light throat, spots straight down the middle. No lines on it, no spots around the edges. You know, that's your benchmark Southern Marsh Orchid. A nice sort of dark tone to that one. Lovely. still. It's going over, and I don't know to what degree the going over has changed the colour of this Southern Marsh Orchid, but I'll just go along with it. Whether it was that colour when it started out or not, it certainly is a lovely colour now. That's special with a small s. I do like the pale form of Southern Marsh Orchid in particular. Very cute. Another nice one. Not a lot of spots on that one. I knew it. I knew there'd be something special. That is very, very good. Very nice, and indeed very special. That's a clonker. It's not white, but again, I don't think I've ever seen one this pale. Almost white, but still with markings on. I've seen pure white, but that's nice. I like that. That is a clonker. Now, I think if I saw that at home in some of the areas where I know we've got dactylorhiza crossing left, right and centre, I'd have this down as Southern Marsh cross Early Marsh, because those loops are very Early Marsh in style, and you don't have your standard spots that you normally have. Yeah, I'd say that is a very good chance of that being a hybrid Southern Marsh, Early Marsh, dactylorhiza cross, Wintonii. That's an interesting colour palette, really. It's the very light coloured hoods that make it look a little bit more interesting than the average. Some intensity in that one. Stunning, absolutely stunning family group of Southern Marsh Orchids. That is brilliant. I could frame that and put it on my wall. Lovely. Look at those leaves. You ain't going to see leaves like that anywhere around. My neck of the woods up in Peterborough, they'll all have spots on them. Well, not all of them, but most. These are beautifully clean, unmarked Southern Marsh Orchid leaves. That's a nice hefty lollipop. Yeah, that's a big one. It's a very bright and vibrant colour, freshly opening as well. I think that's another Wintonii hybrid. Southern Marsh cross Early Marsh. Those loops are spot on. They're not rugby ball loops, they are the sort of loops you'll have on an Early Marsh Orchid. A little bit more angular. I'd be pretty confident about that. Dactylorhiza cross Wintonii, or if you prefer, Dactylorhiza cross Wintonii. because there's only one eye. Very nice. Lovely pale form. Keep getting these like pockets of Southern Marsh Orchids. They're just beautifully set, as though somebody's planted them. Just perfection really, and only Mother Nature has planted these. Pretty much a pristine collection there of Southern Marsh. Most of these are in their prime. Great to see. Lovely rich red purple colour, freshly opened, still opening from the buds at the top. It's a very strong in colour, no fading going on there. Well, what have we got here? Leaves with spots on, no less, and a family group of common spotted orchids, no less. So the potential for Grande's hybrids is here, even if this is the only family group, indeed the only common spotted orchids I've seen in the entire reserve. But what a magnificent showing that is. Brilliant. Glorious. Now, before anyone screams at the screen, I am fully aware, yes, it's got spotty leaves, and yes, it's got flowers that are sort of Southern Marsh palette, but I think it's just pure common spotted. What I'm hinting at is this could be a Grande's hybrid, or bunch of them, but they're solid stems, they're not hollow stems, it's not a marsh orchid. They are just pure common spotted. Beautifully marked. Another stunningly vibrant form. Spotted this one from a mile off. Very bright, very intense. This one's an absolute tree. It's about 2.5 feet tall, if not more. Real tree trunk of a stem. And a very lofty, tall, slightly pale form at the top. Very good. It's a very quiet reserve. 10 past 7 in the evening, but it's nice to bump into the occasional orchid hunter, the two in the distance disappearing behind me. They came up to me and said, have you seen the bee orchids? And I said no. I said I know they're here, and bee orchids are bee orchids. I'm not that excited, but I'd like to see something different to a Southern Marsh orchid. So I said, you know, where are they? So they very kindly pointed me back down to where I've just come from. So I could do without walking back half a mile, but I'm going to do that because they said there's about 3 or 4 very small plants, so that'll do me just to get a couple of bee orchid flowers. That's where I'm now heading. Head for the gate, swing to the left, and there's a pond. Okay, there's a pond. Don't go to the left, go to the right, and they are somewhere around there. Tread carefully, I'm told they're very small. Well, there's a gnarly old knackered one that's going over down there. Need to find better than that. There you go. And that took some finding. They're very low down. Those kind people who tipped me off said there was about 4. Well, I've seen one knackered one. This one's at least got a healthy flower on it. It looked like they might be suffering from the drought somewhat, but that is a bee orchid. No messing, so at least we got one. I found another one. I must confess I'm very close to sitting on this. You got to be bloody careful. Excuse my French, but yeah, scares me when I do that. It really does. But that's nice. Showing well. Still small. Back on the purple, and another mighty fine family group. Another lovely group as we come towards the end of the session. What a glorious sight. That was fun. I know there's a lot of Southern Marsh and you're probably going mad now, but you just can't stop. It's a lovely reserve, and there are just, it's got to be thousands rather than hundreds of Southern Marsh orchids here. Nearly all of them pure straight down the middle. There were no sort of Grandees hybrids. We saw one bunch of common spotties, but that was all. So it's no surprise that they're not crossing with anything, because there's nothing to cross with. Saw a couple of most definite Wintonii hybrids, and no doubt about that, completely happy that's what they were. And a lovely white, and just some nice variations on the form in terms of colours. Really pleased. Surprised how far advanced they are. You know, the people I was speaking to on the way around said they were out 3 weeks ago. I mean, up in Peterborough, that's 3 weeks ahead of us. So they're certainly moving. But a fantastic site. If you ever get a chance to come down here, just come down and have a wander. You got to time it right, but just have a wander, because there are just loads of them. It's just a joy to walk around in a lovely setting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it didn't overdo you with the Southern Marsh, but they're lovely orchids, so you can never get enough of them as far as I'm concerned. But thank you for joining me, and yeah, I will see you somewhere next Friday at 6 o'clock.